So this video, when you watch it, it'll probably be about 2 days delayed from real time, 2 to 3 days. But today, being December 3rd, they they done laid in new travel requirements coming in, quarantine protocols. So I'm glad I haven't booked my quarantine hotel yet for the Philippines there, because the amount of days has already changed. So it was going to be where we're going to come in and land and have 3 days because we're fully vaccinated. We'll get a test before departure, RT-PCR test, and if it's negative, and then we'll get swabbed again. We would have had 3 days, technically 4 days. It would be more like, boy, it'd be 3 nights, 4 days. But now it's going to be 5, so it's technically 6 days. It'll be testing you on the 5th day, and you'll get your results probably on the morning or something of the 6th, you know. So, and then you got to go on home now and do the remainder of your 14 days of quarantine at home. Now, that's not that bad for us. Loading up another bell here. And so that 14 days don't mean 14 days in our house. That means 14 days from the day of arrival. Now, our LGU, our local government unit, could say we have to do a whole 14 days in our home. And I'll tell you what, it's okay if I do. It's okay. Get there. I got plenty to do around it. You know, we got a big yard. We're fenced in. We got everything we need there. Family's right there near. They can bring anything we need and set it at the fence, just like last year, just the same. For us to do 14 days, the family's going to sit outside the fence, you know, back at whatever the watchers, the barangay officials, will ask them to. But they'll sit outside, talk, visit with us while we sit in our jail cell, while we're in the prison yard. And backing up here on a bale of hay. And we'll do our 14 days. I can be inside the house in there prepping and doing some work, getting things ready for some guys to work. I don't know exactly who's going to be working for us when we get there. A lot of them got jobs right now, but some of them have expressed that they would really like to come back and work for me and be there close to home. So we'll see. But yeah, we'll just go with the flow. Whatever comes at us, we'll just deal with it. Speaking of workers, Joel, I don't know if Joel's going to be doing any work for me this time or not. The doctor's advised him he needs to retire out. Definitely, if he did anything for me, it would be light duty stuff, not heavy. But Joel's got some health problems, and he's got heart problems, you know, and of course he's a small guy, and he's always kind of drank a lot, and you know, he probably hasn't been real good on his health. I like old Joel, and I really like for him to be the one laying my ceramic floor tiles and other tile work when I come there. Now I'll talk to him a little bit about how he's grouting. I didn't like the grouting that much, but we can clean that up a little better. But man, he'll lay those tiles nice and straight and level the way I like. And so I really was hoping that Joel could possibly do that for me, even if he didn't work, you know, like, of course, he with some helpers. You know, he'll have some helpers. Somebody mixing the stuff up, bringing it in there to him, and help him put the mud down, the mortar, and help him lay the tiles and all that. But Joel overseeing and making sure everything's straight and aligned and level, and no hollow spots. I don't want no hollow spots underneath my tiles. Well, I really like for Joel to do it if his health is up to it. I don't know if it will be. Man, it's a beautiful evening. I cannot believe that we're like, this is in December, and we're still like 78 or close to 80 degrees today. It's absolutely crazy. good hay. You see how nice and round my hay has stayed? That's some good top bales right there. They've set and stayed that nice and round this whole time. That's what you want to see right there. That's how you want it. See Melinda riding down the road on her bicycle. Poor cow's still coming. They're figuring out how to get around the other side of that fence. Yeah. So yeah, they changed up the protocol a little bit on the quarantine, but you know, we can fuss about them all we want. Philippines, it's their right, it's their government, it's their way they see best fit to take care of their citizens, their people. And yeah, it's a financial burden, but you know, look here, and even in the U.S., they say, oh, they can't, you know, we say about the Filipinos, let's back up, say, oh, they can't work and they can't do this and that. Well, here in the U.S., nobody wants to work. Man, there's jobs galore out there. A friend of mine down in southern part of Texas, he's a subscriber, watch these videos. Hello, Al. Oh, Al. And Al was telling me that he saw even, you know, Burger King has for hire sign up, you know, they can't get nobody to work, and they were offering $15 an hour to flip a hamburger. But you know, nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to work. And so we can say what we want about the Philippines doing what they're doing over there, but heck, even here, the people that can work and that can go to their jobs and can go get a job, they don't want to. And over there they want to, and some of them can't, but it's improving in the Philippines. But you know, they've got those cases down really low in the Philippines. Say what you will, I'm not saying that I agree or disagree with what they've done over there. It's none of my business. I have to follow their rules, whatever they are. It's none of my business. But I have to say, they have really kept the cases down. I would have to admit that. They've kept those cases down. Sorry about all that tractor noise, but that was the free time I had just then. So we can do a little ride and feed and talk. Yeah, another beautiful day coming to a close here on this Texas farm. And the time is closing on up for us to head to the Philippines. Finally start packing my suitcase. Melinda's been packing her suitcase actually ahead of me. And we are working on making our exit if everything works out. You know, we just have to play it by ear and hope for the best. But many of you have wrote me here recently that some of you have headed on into the Philippines and made it in there, and gave me feedback of what's going on and all, and it seemed like it was all pretty seamless. Now that was without today's new protocol, and it was really easy for us last year when we went in with heavy quarantine stuff going on. So I'm not too worried about it. They're pretty big on returning Filipinos and their spouses and stuff being able to come in, especially if you're traveling together like Mel and I are. My friend Paul is debating whether to take some of his vacation time and also head over in January or maybe February or something and spend some time in the Philippines as well. He had a house built there that he hadn't even got to see it. He sees pictures of it, but he ain't got to see the house firsthand himself. Paul and Anna's the couple that's also from right there at our same town in the Philippines, and they live right now up outside of Boston. Boston, Massachusetts. The couple that's come down here 2 different times and spent time with us here in Texas 2 years in a row. And so I was really hoping Paul would take the plunge and come on in, especially if they had to do home quarantine. That's where he wants to be at anyways, at his home. And so they may or may not. We're just watching and waiting to see what they do also. But I sure was hoping to see him around and enjoy some good time with Paul and Anna while we're over there. Don't know what's happening with Mark and Kathy. I'm going to touch base with Mark. Mark is over the gentleman that lives up in Canada that's also in the neighboring province to us on the same island, Antique. And if Mark decided to go ahead and pull the, what we say here in Texas, pull the trigger and come on in too, you know, into the Philippines. So yeah, I hope everybody makes it in there, and everybody can reunite with family and their, you know, their loved ones and all. I really do. You know, I want to give another shout out to a regular viewer and really good supporter us, really good commenter, and you know, many of you are. So I'm not trying to single out and say any one of our viewers is more important than another. Ronald Bowden, he's a Southern boy, and he too has been waiting to try to get back in to be with his girlfriend. And this time apart, they're not married, so he hadn't been able to come in as a tourist like so many others. And the time apart is straining their relationship. He expressed that in comments to me today. You know, it's a test. It's a test to strengthen relationship, but I understand it from both sides. And so many couples right now have these strained relationships of people that were dating, seeing each other and never got married, maybe engaged, waiting to get married, making wedding plans, and have not been able to be back together. And it's really probably been a test of relationships. Anyway, them relationships, you know, I just feel sorry for the people that, you know, had never pulled the trigger. They were really invested in a relationship, the guy and the woman. You know, it's not always a man going there with a Filipina. There is also foreign women that go there and marry Filipinos. And we never think about that or talk about that, but it's the truth. I have a girl that I grew up with here in my hometown, and in the military, she's in the Navy. She met a Filipino, and she was married to a Filipino. And I met quite a few of her. I met a couple here not too long ago, and it was a foreign woman married to a Filipino, and there's a lot of those couples. So we can't always think that it's the Westerner that's going there, the man, Westerner or foreign man, whatever he is, whatever country or anywhere, you know, not just from the Western nations, and be with a Filipino girl. It can be vice versa. So we have to think about that. But yeah, I know a lot of relationships have hit some hard strain. Had another commenter, he wrote that his girl finally gave up waiting on him to come in, and she just took a OFW job and headed out to Singapore. You know, that's got to be really saddening for him. It's going to be harder for them to see each other. Most likely she's going to be in a 2-year commitment probably on her OFW contract. And so it just spreads it out longer and more painful. It wouldn't necessarily mean their relationship's over or nothing, but it's just another added obstacle. Yeah, it really is. But you know, the Philippine government, they're saying, well, they're not trying to like really keep couples apart from each other, but there's so much fraud. So they say, okay, we're going to let the fiancés come in, and everybody's going to pretend and BS and show fake evidence and stuff that yeah, we're fiance. And you know, and everybody is going to get in what we call in cahoots with each other, you know, putting together a story, making it believable, trying to put together evidence that they're going to want that you're intending to get married. And they're going to fraud the system, and that is what they know. That is exactly what they know. It happened already in this pandemic once. The system was being frauded on if you're married or not, and people were showing up with fake marriage certificates, you know, and getting in. So, you know, it's those abusers of the system that make everybody suffer. Well, that's what I want to talk to everybody about today and what's going on. I'm just kind of enjoying my evening here right now. Sun's sitting back over my shoulder right there. And been a busy day. I'm tired. Didn't video all my work today, but I've been continuing to work on the house. There's sneezy Melinda behind me there. Been continuing to work on the house inside. Got a lot more cabinets up, getting them prepped to paint, cleaning out underneath all that mess underneath my carport where we've been having stuff stored out there while we were working on the house inside, and continuing to clean more stuff out of the sheds, emptying it on out. It's a good feeling too. It really is. It really is. And just everybody, you know, always look at things on the bright side. You know, the sun, it goes down, but it comes up again the next day. Y'all take care, and God bless. There's old Cap and Melinda. See y'all on the next one.